real-time need of this webinar and really thank you for guiding us for conducting this webinar. Dear participants, we have eminent academician Dr. Jaykrishnan, Senior Scientist, NPTEL from IIT Madras with us. On behalf of D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Akudi, I welcome you, sir. We are honored to have you as a first speaker of this international webinar. Participants, his topic for discussion is future education post COVID-19. I think this is the real need of current situation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, DY Patil team, for inviting me for this webinar. And it's even more, what do you say? It's a responsibility that I start off the entire webinar. So I hope I will be able to do justice to the topic. So to start off, I think one important thing that everyone, so I see more than 200 people who are currently online in the Google Meet, and maybe another set of people who are trying to join through various channels. So if you know your colleagues, if the registration team is able to message all the participants, I have a interactive presentation for everyone. I'll be sharing my screen right now. And it will be nice if everyone can switch off their videos, because at this point of time, conserving bandwidth is important. So the moment you switch off videos, everyone will be able to see the presentation and also hear the audio without any disturbance. So I'm sharing my presentation over here. This is titled Future of Education. One important thing to note over here is I'm using something known as Mentimeter. Okay, this is a website that you can use for interactive slides and presentation. And suppose, so are you able to see the screen right now? So you will be seeing an instruction. So if you're not able to see the slides or see me very clearly, then this is the slide that I want all of you to really look into. So this is what is known as Mentimeter. So in case you're not able to see me or the presentation is not clear, it's very easy. Get your phone, go to your phone browser, go to www.menti.com, and this presentation's code is 714380. Just type in that and submit. Okay, so this will give you access to my presentation. Now that I'm so the first thing, let me start off. So let me do an attendance check. How many of you have been able to see the screen? So don't worry about that dull looking black color. I mean, it is the theme of this entire slides is terminal, computer terminal. So it is now looking into the terminal like that. So my first question to all of you. So I'm going to open voting for this. So you can see at the bottom right, there is a thumbs up and thumbs down. So this is for options yes and no. So if you agree to the question that is being given in the screen, is the entire education system going to move online, is my question. And you can respond to this question by clicking on the thumbs up or the thumbs down. So thumbs up means yes, thumbs down means no, it is not going to move online. So I got my first vote. Okay, somebody else is saying it is not. Oh, look at all your screens. You can see the thumbs up going up. So I have 5 votes till now. Let me open this, do a 30-second countdown. Okay. So quickly vote on your choice. Do you think that the entire system, now that COVID has come, a lot of people are now moving to things like webinars and Zoom meetings and whatnot. do you think that the entire education system is going to move online? So this, I will also look at it as a attendance check. So if people want attendance for this session, quickly vote on it. Oh, looks like people are now voting right now. Okay, I'll extend the timeline for another 30 seconds. So all the people who want attendance, vote. So I will request the DYP team to take a look at this one. So if you see an attendance sheet which is having a different number, you will know that somebody is lying. Okay. So you have another 10 seconds, after which I will move on to my next slide. 3, 2, 1. Yes. So that comes to the end of this voting. As I see, 18 people have said that, yes, they think that it is going to move online. Please do not post in the chat, because everyone's screen will be filled with chat messages. That's why I have given the option in the slide itself. And you don't have to vote using your computer. You can take your mobile and you can still see me. So if you want to see me, you can still click on pin my video and you will be able to see me. But I think that is not the important point. The important point is taking part in the session along with me. Okay. So now that I know that some of you, I mean, a majority of people who voted think that system is not going to move online. So this is the next question. Okay, so you can see a button, a slider against each question. So I have prepared 4 statements. One on curriculum, one on universities or institutions. So you can think of it as college or university, whatever you want to, whatever you are more familiar with. Third one is about teachers. Fourth one is about students. So there are 4 statements that I have written. And I want you to carefully read each of these statements and move the slider. So when you click on top of it, you can move the slide. Okay, you can do a slider. So you can see points like these, right? You can move on to each of these sliders. And I want you to I want to get your opinion on these statements. You can do a strong disagreement, or you can strongly agree to it, or you can be somewhere in between. Okay, so I'm opening this thing for voting. I'll give a total of 3 minutes for this slide. Okay, so the idea is, first, what I think is my first statement about curriculum is that post this COVID lockdown, curriculum will now be based entirely on requirements of the market. So there will no longer be Department of Computer Science Engineering. There will not be Department of, so it will not be like schools or departments. Rather, it will look at what market wants. Okay. So basically, if market wants data scientists, you will have a Department of Data Science. If you think that there is going to be somebody who needs transportation, so there will be a Department of Transportation. If somebody thinks that there should be a Department of Communication, then the courses and curriculum will focus more on communication. So things like that. Now, what about universities? Universities will completely shift from the traditional face-to-face mode to online degrees and certification. That is where universities are going to be. So this is what the statement is. So it will no longer be face-to-face, but it will be about online degrees, how you can take courses online, etc., etc. The next statement is about teachers. Teaching will now become entirely contractual. That is, the job will be renewed every semester based on your performance. Whether you are able to deliver your skills, so it will be, every institution will give you a 6-month contract. You can teach this subject or you can teach this skill. That's how teaching is going to be. And fourth one, students. they will be able to learn from multiple venues. So they will not be fixed at one particular university or one particular college or one particular teacher. They will have the choice to learn from anyone. So what do you think about this? So I see that around 40 people have responded to the questions now. See, if you're not able to understand what I'm saying, it's a very simple thing. Each of these statements, whatever you think, just move the slider in your screen. So how to go about it? Go to menti.com, enter this code, and you will be able to see the screen. 46 people have responded, and what you see on your screen right now is the live feedback about what the average is. Okay, so what you see is a distribution. So 5 people say it will not be curriculum, 25 people say are going to moderate agreement. So this is what all of you are saying. The most positive thing. So all of these things is more onto agreement to what I'm saying. So you can see that average is somewhere about 2. So there are a total of 4 scales, and the moment it is about 2.5, it to 2.5, it means that there is a moderate agreement to what I'm saying, and more strong agreement to the idea that students will now learn from multiple places at the same time. The lesser agreement that people think is universities may not move towards online degrees or certifications. But I think more or less majority of people agree that universities will now, the curriculum has to now reflect what the market wants. Okay, so this is what people are saying. A fair warning to all of you. Okay, so I see that there are around 213 people logged into this particular Google meeting room right now. And only 48 people have responded, which means only 1/4 of you are actually paying attention or are facing difficulties. My entire presentation will be interactive of this mode, where you will have to interact with me so that I can understand what what you're saying, and maybe it will be like a dialogue that I will have with you. Okay, so if you have still not gotten what you have to do, uh, don't look at my face or what you see on the screen. First, take your mobile phone or whatever device you have, click on www.menti.com and enter the code 714380. And this will actually show you the presentation that I'm making right now. Okay. Sorry for that. Yeah. So now that I have some response from all of you, so 48 is, I'll take it as a good number to start off. So we have started off, we got only 25 people voting for the first and now I have 48 people who are voting for the second one. Somebody's mobile or a device is turned on. If you can mute your device, then people will be able to hear me more clearly. There's a lot of feedback coming in. So if please mute your audio. So I see that there are a lot of people who are complaining that Menti site is not opening. See, the site is www.menti.com. Okay. I'll just check whether I'm able to open it from my side. Yeah, so it is opening 714380. Yeah, I'm able to open the vote. I'm able to see a screen over there. that's fine. Please ensure that you type in the right. So now you will not be able to vote. I have completely closed that voting. Your time for voting will come when I say. So please be very careful. Listen to what I'm saying. Okay. So the next slide is what I think. So this is my opinion about the first statement, curriculum. So what will be the curriculum for future? So I'm not sure whether it will be completely based on market, but one thing is for sure is there will be constant renewal of curriculum across subjects, across courses, across programs. And the idea will be more about making the underlying skills. So whatever you call as problem solving skills, thinking skills, critical thinking skills, problem posing skills, systems thinking skills, all these skills will now be made more explicit in the curriculum. So I think that is where the curriculum is headed to. The domains or subjects that you're teaching, computer science or artificial intelligence, or let's say mechanical engineering, all these programs and the subjects. So for example, something like data science, or maybe probability and statistics, all these courses or the subjects will become a context for teaching the skill. So I have opened the voting thing right now. So if you agree to it, you can click on thumbs up. If you disagree to the statement, you can click on thumbs down. Okay. So the thing that I'm looking at is it will no longer be silos like what you see right now. It will be, and the focus will not be on getting subject mastery. So there will be a small portion of people who will look at content mastery. So there will be like people, 1% of people who will move towards, okay, how do I develop a very fine algorithm? Okay, or if I'm a mechanical engineer, how will I improve the efficiency of my thermal system? These are things that 1% of people will focus on. Whereas for the others, I think the larger idea is how will you develop problem solving in the subject thermodynamics. So how do you develop problem solving skills taking the context of thermodynamics? Or how will you develop algorithmic thinking taking English, communicative English as a subject? So the focus will not be on the subject or the content, rather it will be on the skill. I think this is where more number of people, more number of educationists will be moving, focusing their eyes on. If you are into this particular idea, if you jump into the bandwagon early, now that COVID has come and you are going to transition, then you will be like that set of people who reap the benefit of jumping into this, adopting these two things early. Okay, so any particular movement, any particular thing that starts, there are certain early adopters. So if you are among the early adopter, this is what you should now be looking at. If you are a set of people who will say, okay, let me just see if there is enough traction, if there is enough interest, I will jump onto it. If you are among that, yes, you can still wait on it, but independently start thinking about what all skills are currently there in your subjects. So I see that the voting is significantly high for this. I'll open the voting for another 10 seconds. Maximum number of people can vote on this, and they can give their opinion on it. Okay, I have closed the voting. So you will see a screen which says that this question is not open for voting right now. Okay, so this is what you will see in your screen right now. For the next, I'll move to my next slide. So this is what I like most. This is something like a reflection spot. So you heard me say a lot of things. You heard me do a lot of things. But this is a question for you. You don't have to do any voting right now. What you have to do right now is think about what I have written over here. Think of a skill that you have. The skill maybe I have good presentation skills. Okay. So how will you exhibit this skill in a subject that you are teaching right now? So for all the people who want to move towards that skilling kind of thought, this is a reflection question for all of you. In your own laptops or in a notebook that you have with you, write how will you exhibit, think of a skill first that you think you are having really well. And how are you going to exhibit this skill in a subject that you're teaching right now? So once you have completed your writing down, click on the question mark button. Okay, don't click on question mark just now. It is not a attendance thing. Okay, don't click on it just because it is not an attendance. Question mark thing is for me to understand that you have thought about the skill and have written how you are going to go about it right now. So you can take another minute to actually think about this and write how you are going to exhibit that skill in your teaching learning process. So once again, I hope that you are clicking on the question mark after you have written something in a notebook or in a document in your computer. Okay. So just do not click on the question mark button. This particular set of slides is not for an attendance. I see that more number of people have written something. You have another 15 seconds to complete it. Okay, so the voting has been closed, but I hope even if you have not clicked on that question mark button, at least so 83 people. So earlier we saw around 150 people responding to my previous slide. Right? How many people responded to that? 148 people responded. And now I have around 83 people responding to this particular slide. So from here onwards, the pattern will be something like this. I will have a statement, my interpretation of what future of education is in this, in a slide like this, followed by asking your opinion. And you will have to put in your opinion within a minute. Okay, you will have only 1 minute to think. The questions will be whatever you comes to your mind, please say that, write that, and then click on the question mark button. Okay. So the next thing that I think about is how universities are going to change. So what I think is going to happen is universities will not completely transition to online learning, but the focus will be more on blended learning experience. So wherein there is a good mix of online and face-to-face. So that is what I think is going to happen. You have 30 seconds to say whether you agree to this or not. So another 10 seconds. Okay, the voting has been closed. People who are not able to express your opinion, that is fine. You have the next slide where I'm going to ask you a reflection sport. So think of the current policies of your institution, university or institution. how much focus is there on blended instruction right now? And think about it, write it in your own notebook. It's not for me or the others to see, it is for you to see. Okay. And after you have done it, click on that question mark button. I give you 1 minute for the entire exercise. So another 30 seconds more. So think of what your institution or your college or are taking in regards to blended instruction, and how much is that right now currently? Is it like completely blended instruction, or is it something different? Is what we are looking at right now. Okay, so the voting has closed, and I see around 75 people have responded to it. Each of you, I completely understand that each of you will have your own opinion about blended instruction, but the idea is that online teaching learning methods are not going to move. Okay, so that is one reality that we have to agree to it. What percentage of your teaching methods or your practices will be online? It is up to you and your university to decide. But yeah, having a healthy mix is always what is desirable. Okay, so in my statement, I had said that teachers of the future will have contracts for 6 months. So that is the statement that I started, right? But my opinion is it's not no longer about teachers getting contracts or teachers looking at tenure and all those things. I think the boundary between teaching and learning is going to be very, very blurry from here onwards. Because teachers by themselves will also be required to be learners, and you may see institutions coming up with curriculum for teachers. So yes, you have learned something, you have mastered something, and you are now going to teach it. But I think even at this point, the institution will say there are certain skill set that a teacher of our institution would be wanting, and I want you to be upskilled in those. So I will prepare a curriculum for you. So like what, let's say DY Patil College is doing right now. So they are setting up webinars where they want all teachers to participate and do certain activities. So this can slowly be converted into a curriculum for teachers, where teachers, like learners, get a choice of what all skills they would want to learn along with their own teaching skills. Okay, so this I think is what is going to happen in near future. But again, so I see that the number of votes that I am getting for this is slightly less, which means that teachers are worried that they have to do a lot more work than what they're doing right now, right? So I'll open it up for the next 10 seconds. You can agree or disagree to me in the next 10 seconds before we move to the reflection spot of this particular activity. So earlier I had 75 people responding to my previous slide. Now I have 79 people responding to this slide. So I think I am more or less out of 200 people, I'm engaging around 80 of you. So this is my reflection spot question. Think of the formal and informal learning that you as a teacher do currently. Okay. What skills or curriculum would you want for your own learning if institutions start implementing learning curriculum for teachers? So think about what all you do right now. Is there a skill that you want to upgrade yourself in? Is there some particular aspect of, let's say, some intangible skill that you want to improve upon? Is there a subject that where you want to go deep into while you are teaching? This is the moment where you can think about it and write it down in your notebook. I'll give you roughly a minute to write down your answers in your notebook and click on that question mark. Okay, so another 30 seconds more before I close this vote. I see that 57, 50, 60 people. So think about it really, really carefully. Because I think this is going to happen pretty soon. This is one of the AICT is slowly moving, mandating all institutions to undergo online courses for upskilling. There is a particular thing that they have 8 courses that they have developed, and they have to make you write, ask you to write exams. So I don't think this one is not too far away from reality. So currently it is the policy making body which is doing it. Slowly this might be decentralized to the respective institution. So the voting is closed right now. I have got 76 responses to it. So the 70 number is getting maintained. So congratulations to all those 70 people who have been with me from the start till now. And this is an interesting thing that I think is going to happen for students. Okay, so students of the future, in my opinion, will have the flexibility to take a suite of courses, okay, based on the skills that they want. So suppose I want to develop my problem solving skill. It will be, I mean, I'll be given courses, problem solving skill in data science, problem solving skill in thermodynamics, problem solving skill in transportation, problem solving skill in, let's say, earth science. So I will focus on the skill, and I'll be given a suite of courses, different from different, maybe different domains, maybe same domain. But the idea will be, I'll be doing this as a learner, maybe from one university, maybe across universities, from various teachers. So this online technologies are going to give me a lot more leverage as to the kind of skilling that I want. And the learning experience will now be more about how relevant it is and how easily it can be demonstrated immediately after learning. So what you call as outcome, okay, so the outcomes, how can I make it more immediate, will be the kind of question that students will be having. Because at the end of the day, they're getting a job, they're getting a moving along in a different career trajectory. It depends on how much skill they have and how much they are able to demonstrate. So I think this is where students of future are going to be. You can continue for another 10 seconds, after which I will stop this voting on this one. I see a lot more people. The last second, yes. So I have 73 people vote for me for this one, 71 people positive. So most of my opinions have been agreed by you. So here is the reflection spot for everyone. Think of outcomes that are being exhibited by your own students currently. How can you make these outcomes more visible and relevant? So think of a subject that you're teaching right now and the kind of outcomes that students are. So it may be learning that content. That is what your outcomes would be right now. But think about things like, how much do they think about sustainability? How much do they think about gender equity? How much do they think about problem solving? So all these will be the outcomes that I am interested in. Not about, okay, he's able to create a program with which does a particular function. No, this is not the outcome that I'm talking about. I'm talking about more broad-ranging outcomes or skills that will be more important in the days to come, particularly from an employer's perspective, or let's say even if I'm an entrepreneur, these are the kind of skills that I should be exhibiting. So things like perseverance, not getting down, not going down, even if, let's say, you are getting a failure. So the skill to face failure, the skill to communicate your ideas to a lot of people. So these are the things that I would want you to focus on when I talk about outcomes. And you have another 30 seconds to respond. Write it down in your notebook. So it is not about you telling me, but it is about you telling yourself how much these things are going to matter for you and how much you are going to exhibit this. So the final 5 seconds. Oh, looks like I have a drop in attendance. It has gone down 70. It has come to 67. Anyway, so let me see whether I have just 2 more slides for you. Okay, so this is a big question that I have for you. Did this session give you some new insights? Please be honest. I'm not talking here about, okay, I gave you some big gyan, or I don't want that kind of, I mean, I'm not somebody who wants that kind of message back. I want your honest opinion. And what you see right now is, oh my God, okay. So you see how, so there is 76% of the people, oh, the number of the attendance is now, so think of this not as an attendance slide, but did you learn something out of it? So I respect the 2% of people who have said that, no, they did not gain anything from this, anything new out of this. So 3% of you, 77% of you are saying that you are getting some insights. So maybe it's time that I give a timeline for you to respond. So respond in the next 10 seconds. Otherwise, your votes will not be taken in. Okay. So I have around 102 people who have responded to this particular thing. So the attendance has jumped from 60 to 100. The next one is the last, second last slide. I will have only 2 more minutes of presentation. So this is the question for you. So I mean, many of you would have faced, I mean, would have answered yes, no, or whatever it is. But honestly, do you think, how was the learning experience? So here I'm not talking of content. Here I'm talking of the entire experience, voting to answer, writing down something, all those things. So that learning experience, how was it? Okay, there seems to be a unanimous, so whether they learned something new or whether they learned something, didn't learn something, or whether they didn't attempt the previous question, around 91 out of 96, 97 people, I see that 94 have gone on saying that it is engaging. Okay, I'll open it up for another 10 seconds because 100 was the number that I got in my previous slide. So I'm hoping another 5-6 more people to join in. Yes, so I had 103 people present in the earlier slide, but now I'm getting 108. Let me just take a look at it. So I had 102 people answer my earlier slide. And for the current one, I see that 108 people have said, which means more than 96% of you were, 96% of you were saying that this was engaging. And that, my friends, is what the future of education is going to be. Future of education, whether you are a teacher, you are a university, or whether you are a curriculum builder, or whether you are a student, the future will be about people who rethink about educational experience. The question then is not about whether it is going to be online, whether it is going to be offline, how much is it going to be skill, is it going to be subjects. But the question for each and every one of you as a teacher is about, are you ready to change the experience, the educational experience for your learner? I think that is where the future of education is going to be, and that is what COVID is helping us realize, that the educational experience is something that you have to sustain across different media. Okay, it's not just online medium, it could be face to face, it could be a blended kind of settings. It doesn't matter what the medium is, as long as the students have a they have done the due justice to the role of a teacher. And I think that is where I think whatever you call education 4.0, this is a consistent reality across our past, across our present, and it will be the reality even in our future. Education will be all about the experience of the learner. So yes, the markets may swing from one side to another, but future of education is all about future of educational experience. And the question that you have to ask yourself is, will you be able to deliver it to your student, or will you be able to immerse your student in a positive educational experience? So I think with that, I come to the end of my slide. So I hope I overshot my time by another half an hour or so. Very sorry to the next speaker who is in queue, but UIP team. So thank you for allowing me to speak for close to 40 minutes, and I hope the session was useful for the participants.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for very interactive session as well as very interactive presentation. I hope all participants have enjoyed this interactive learning. Definitely it is an active and interactive engagement of students. What we have learned through your session, sir, we'll definitely implement it in our curriculum. Honestly, thank you for initiating the thought process of future curriculum, future universities, future teachers, and future students' perspective. Thank you so much. The question is like how to involve ethics in this teaching learning practices. Because when it goes the online kind of thing, especially the actually we have implemented these learning practices through Moodle. We are conducting unit tests and the assignments, many more things. But somewhere around, we find it that it is getting replicated. So how to keep an eye on that?
Okay. So the question, see, I think there are two dimensions to this question. One is, ethics in assignments and those kind of outcome activities. And the next one is the larger idea of ethics, which is, okay, so it's like, let me ask you, if you see a red sign while you are driving, I mean, you have to reach your office at 10 o'clock and it is already 9:55, and you see a red light, you are just the last bike, and you see a red light. Will you stop or will you move ahead? So there are these two dimensions that we have to look at. And when it comes to ethics, I always have felt that it is more of a cultural thing. I mean, it really depends on the environment from where you are coming in, what kind of ethical practice that a student sees in this environment. So, for example, take the lockdown, for instance. I mean, there is a stern warning during lockdown that you should not go out. You should go only for essential activities. You should keep social distancing while you are outside. You should wash your hands with sanitizer or soap. How many of us are actually doing it? So is it that, I mean, you see a lot of people violating it, but a good majority of people following it, whether it is because of law, because of policing it on them, or maybe because of their own inherent fear. So I think as far as ethics is concerned, it will be completely dependent upon the environment that the learner is in. So if as teachers, as institutions, we are able to build a comfortable environment which is more ethical, which is more true to the laws of land, then I think this problem is going to go out. But if you're trying to find a technology solution to a place where already culturally ethics is slightly on the iffy line, I don't think it is going to be a big success because we are seeing, I mean, people who want to violate law will violate it regardless of how much policing you make, right? So
Yes, sir.
so I think it is about the trust that, so when it comes to assignment, it is based on the trust that you as a teacher can build with the students. I mean, they should realize that by doing copying somebody else's assignment, I am failing myself. I'm failing myself in the larger picture, and it is not going to be beneficial for me. The moment students realize it, the moment you have practices to make students reflect on it and realize it individually, you will see more ethical practices coming in.
Yes, sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us and guiding us in proper way. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So shall I disconnect?
Yes, yes.